Ready? 5 seconds. We have heard learned counsel for the parties and with their assistance peruse the material on record. The facts which manifest from the batch of appeals are that the respondents are the registered contractors with the railway establishment and undertaking work, contracts, construction of various kinds. They raised a demand for escalation cost and the interest accrued thereon because the date of the completion of the project was delayed as alleged due to breach of obligations by the appellants, and the scheduled date of completion had to be extended. In the interregnum period, there was a rise in the prices of the raw material, and the project became impossible to be completed by the respondent contractors. Hence, a request was made to the appellants to either pay the enhanced escalation price, otherwise the respondent contractors would not be in a position to conclude the contract, and on the acceptance for payment of the escalation cost, respondent contractor completed the work and delivered the project and raised final bills in the prescribed predetermined format, which also included no dues certificate. Since the dispute has arisen in the context of the payment of the escalated cost as demanded by respondent contractors, and there being a clause of arbitration in the agreement, each of the respondent contractors sent a notice for arbitration invoking clause 64(3) of GCC, which in majority of the cases declined by the appellants, stating that no dues certificate has been furnished and that entailed no subsisting dispute, and that was the reason due to which each of the respondent contractor had approached the High Court by filing an application under section 11(6) of the Act 1996. It is also not in dispute that the request for referring the dispute to arbitration was received by the appellants much prior to the enforcement of the Amendment Act 2015, which came into force with effect from 23rd October 2015. As per clause 43(2), the contractor signs a no-claim certificate in favor of the railway in the prescribed format after the work is finally measured up, and the contractor shall be obtained from disputing the correctness of the items covered under the no-claim certificate, or demanding a clearance to arbitration in respect thereof. Each of the respondent has to attach no claim certificate with final bills in the prescribed format to be furnished in advance before the final bills are being examined and measured by the railway authorities. Accused number 1, the proprietor of a chain of hotels, Saravana Bhavan, allegedly had the illegal intention of taking PW1 Jiva Jyothi, aged about 21 years at the time of commission of the offence, as his third wife, even though his second wife was alive and Jiva Jyothi was married. The family of PW1 had been acquainted with accused number 1 since 1994, and he had even given a managerial job to the father of PW1 in one of his hotels. Full stop. PW2 is the mother of PW1. Their family hailed from Thethakudi village near Vedranayam and had come to Chennai and settled there after selling all their properties at Thethakudi and clearing all debts. They had come to Chennai with about rupees 4.5 lakhs, which they deposited with accused number 1, who gave them an interest of rupees 60 lakh 7,000 per month on the same. PW1 Jiva Jyoti, a Hindu, fell in love and married Prince Santha Kumar, who was a Christian, much to the disapprobation of the family of PW1. Even after the marriage of PW1 with Santha Kumar, accused number 1 displayed a munificent attitude towards PW1 and her parents, liberally presenting expensive birthday gifts to PW1, paying her hospital bills, etc. He also helped them monetarily and logistically in setting up their travel agency in Chennai. He even used to interfere in the personal affairs of PW1 and used to tell her false stories about her husband Santa Kumar and advise her to abstain from sexual relations with Santa Kumar. However, PW1 did not pay any heed to accused number 1 and continued to live happily with her husband. Moreover, she did not have any love or affection towards accused number 1. On 28/9/2001, accused number 1 came to the house of PW1 and Santa Kumar along with PW1 parents and started shouting at PW1 for not listening to him. Accused number 1 gave an ultimatum of 2 days to Santa Kumar to sever all his relationships with PW1. However, the relationship between PW1 and her husband remained unaffected. Even so, being agitated by the attitude of accused number 1, PW1 and her husband decided to move to a place unknown to accused number 1. However, they did not get an opportunity to do so. On 1/10/2001, the other accused, that is, accused numbers 2 to 11, who were the aides of accused number 1, surrounded the house of PW1.
Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.